What's going on, guys? My name is Kevin, aka Kev Boogie, aka Happy Days Edits Violence, coming at you live with his first episode of Fighters MiniCast. I'm with my guest today,
David, Death Dealer Marquez.
and I'm with my other guest.
Sergio, the Cuban Missile Crisis, Rodriguez.
All right, guys. So it's fight week. Fighters Rep 22. How you feeling? I'll start with David.
I fucking love this shit, man. So every single time it's fight week or 2 days out or 1 day out, I just get more and more and more excited, amped up, happy. I mean, you guys know my vibe. I'm fucking fun. I'm crazy. I'm wild. I love this shit.
And you're fighting a pretty tough guy, Ralph Sanchez. It's a rematch. Can you tell us a little bit about the first time you guys fought, how you thought that fight played out, and how you think Saturday's night's fight's gonna play out?
Well, you said it yourself. He's a tough guy. He's a good fighter. I have respect for him. We did fight before. I felt like it was a little bit of a controversial fight. It could have gone either way. It was a great fight of the night, no matter what. I always put on fights of the night, knockout of the nights, whatever it may be. So expect another one of those. Expect another fight of the night or knockout of the night. Me and him are going in there to, declare who is the champ of the featherweight division, and I'm looking to keep it around my waist.
Spicy. And Sergio, I hate to ask you this question, man, but it's fight week, Fighters Rep 22. How you feeling? Fill us in, man.
Now, I'm excited for everybody who's fighting on the card. Despite what happened with me, it's still a banging ass card. I hope everybody tunes in. Fighters, coaches, they all put a ton of work into this to make sure that everyone gets to this event, any event for that matter. But still, tune in. Despite my injury, tune in. You guys are gonna see one fucking hell of a card.
Can you fill us in about your injury and the injury you sustained? Like, can you fill us in?
Oh yes, I can do that. Man, February 8th was a pretty shitty day. Unfortunately, I was sparring and I fractured my orbital floor bone. It's right here, right on my cheekbone area. Had double vision for like more than 24 hours. I was still going to go forward with the fight, but I was talked into going to the ER. I don't know, I felt like less of a man pulling out of a fight because no matter how you cut it or slice it, you're pulling out and, the show goes on with or without you. But when you're, and I kind of overreacted to it at first because when you're seeing double, it's fucking terrifying. If you've never seen double before, especially when it lasts 24 hours. It's fucking terrifying, guys. But thankfully, it's being put behind me slowly, through recovery. And, I can do most things I like. I just can't spar. I can't do that fucking man dance. I'm gutted.
Best believe he's still training, though, guys. He isn't sitting around. And like I said, guys, it's fight week for Fighters Rep 22. Besides your fight, what fight are you looking forward to see on that card?
Man, I feel like Fighters Rep 22 is a great card. I'm excited to see a lot of them, but I'm really excited to watch all of the other fighters that are in my weight class. So Tivo Flores is going to be going up against my ex-opponent, Mariano Corona. I think that's going to be a great fight. There's going to be another one between another one of my past opponents, Jimmy Truesdale, and TK, I think, out of Team Oyama. So, I feel like this is a great card to set the tone for the featherweight division and inevitably see who comes up to challenge the champ.
The featherweight champ. The featherweight champ. Forgot to put the mic to myself. And Sergio, what fight are you looking forward to see the most?
Man, so many good fucking fights on that card. There's actually two of them that I hold up there right now. One of them, I'm a little biased. Obviously, Mr. Death Dealer over here fighting Ralph Sanchez. There's a lot of controversy surrounding their first fight, 2022, but it shall be done again. And the second one, TK and Truesdale. Brace yourself for that one.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fucking nuts. So, if you're gonna go grab a beer, make sure you do that and glue your ass to your seat. That's gonna be a good one.
And for me, the fight I want to see is Milshon Lathan versus Dylan Ludwig.
Ooh, man. That one
That's
is
the fight.
actually.
That's the fight I want to see because from the last performance from Milshawn, it was a great performance. Don't get me wrong, but we just can't tell how good he really is. You know, it was just too quick. So that's the next performance I want to see. I mean, that's the fight I want to see.
Definitely, dude. It was a lightning round. Milshawn Lathan, he's one of the homies of mine as well too. He's out of a HB Fight Club and stuff like that. Great guy. I think he's a good fighter, but like you said, I just didn't think we saw enough to see how good he is. So to be put up against a killer like Dylan Ludwig, yeah, man, these guys are definitely going to be fucking each other up.
Yeah, and for Milshawn, I've seen his training videos on Instagram. My man's putting in work.
Yeah.
Like there's been a couple times where I'm just at home sitting and I seen I pull up his story, I see him doing his workouts. I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to go work out. You know? So that's a fight I can't wait to see. And for David, the last time you fought, you had a hell of a corner. Mm-hmm. You had Francisco walking out with you. You had one of your coaches here walking out with you. You had my old coach B walking out with you. Who's gonna be your corner this time, man?
Man, you guys can expect the exact same dream team in my corner just as last time.
And I'm so sorry. I forgot that Coach Pot was in his corner last time too, so.
But you guys know it. I just said it. It's the dream team. I got Coach Pot. He's one of the main men, always in my corner. He's been there since the beginning of my fights, and he's still there, so he locks it down for me over there. I got Cruz Stephanie. She's one of the people over here at Buena Park Martial Arts Academy who really helps me hone in on the real basics of martial arts, really brings me back to the roots of it all. And then, like he said, we got the Korean Pitbull, B, out of NHC. He's also a great coach, and he knows how to work with me. Me and him know how to work with each other, so I love it. And then, of course, fourth and finally, he said it, but Francisco Rivera, he is a coach, a mentor, and a sparring partner of mine since day one. And he's the one who gives me that confidence and that fucking chin, baby. If you can take a hit from him, I guarantee there is no 125, 27, 30, 35 pounder that can hit as hard as him. So I know I'm prepared when I have him in my corner.
And Sergio, the question I have for you is also about coaching. How important is coaching, and what are your thoughts? This is a question I'm looking forward to ask. What's your thoughts on snake how you say it?
Snake oil salesman.
Snake oil salesman coaches. Yeah. What's your thoughts on them?
Well, first of all, fucking shame on them. They're gonna get someone hurt. When I see I'm not gonna say any names. I can, but I'll see stories sometimes, and a fighter will have his chin way up in the air, and I'll be like, what the fuck is this? Like, where's But going back to what you said about a coach is more than just a coach. What is a coach? I'll tell you what a coach is. A coach is someone who works off the clock, make sure their fighters are good on, in terms of their everyday life outside of fighting. My best example of that is B. B checks on me all the time. We send each other stupid ass memes. We break bread every now and then. But the epitome of a coach is it's more than just being in the gym and doing pad work and saying don't give up. It's being there for you emotionally, and they're at your worst, they're at your best. To me, that's what a coach is. A coach is, you know what I mean? It's more than just a pad man. So, but as far as a snake oil salesman coach, if you want to call it that, and there's plenty of them, shame on them. They need to take a striking class. They need to go back to their roots if that's even possible. But they can go eat a bowl of dicks. I don't fucking want to talk about this anymore.
And for me, it's different. For me, my insight on coaches is my coach has to be more of like a father figure.
Mm-hmm.
Bingo. I have yet to find one. It's weird. I had one, but then when I was at his gym, that was when I was acting up. I had ways that were negatives, so I got excused from the gym. So if he's watching this, let me back. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, no, say your apology somewhere.
I never said sorry. So, but you guys mentioned your coach is Coach B. Francisco Rivera is in your corner. They're also your sparring partners.
Yeah.
How important is sparring and having the right sparring partners around you? I'll start with David.
Well, dude, I mean, it's a really big key to I believe getting prepared for a fight. Obviously, if you're in there with the wrong people trying to do you wrong, you're going to get hurt, you're going to get injured. And that was definitely not the case for Sergio or anybody most of the time at NHC. I mean, we just go hard, bro. We're savages out there. So, I mean, injuries are going to happen, especially in a sport where you're literally going out there to try to hurt somebody. Things are going to happen. But like we were saying, having the right sparring partner, somebody that's not going to try to take your head off all the time and that's going to allow you to get your work in as well, too, especially when it's fight camp time. But having high-level guys in there, like we said, Coach B, Francisco Rivera, having them spar up against me and then also being my coaches and mentors, they're able to nitpick and see what they did right on me, and then that inevitably tells me what I did wrong. So when they say, yo, man, I hit you with this and I hit you with that, and you kept getting hit with this, change this up, fix that, do this. So inevitably it is a nice, I guess, circle continuously rounding each other of going back to I spar with you, I fix what you're doing, we see how it works, and then we get back to sparring again. Fix it, correct it, so it's just one continuous circle of just great help. Like I said, especially if you have the right people in your camp, in your corner, it makes a world of difference.
And Sergio, what's your thoughts on having the right sparring partners around you, and what's your thoughts on sparring?
It's funny that he said that that hard sparring or reckless sparring tactics were, it's good that he said that it wasn't a cause of my injury. My injury could have happened to anybody. I'm not trying to talk about this injury too much, but just to put it in perspective of how strong this orbital floor is, whatever it takes to break a fucking graham cracker is what it takes to break that bone. So if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. I'm not saying go aim for orbital bones or anything and try to take one home with you, because that wouldn't be good for anybody. But back to what you said about the coaching, the sparring, it's very important to go with people who are better than you, period, regardless of whether they're your coach, a professional, or just somebody who's a fucking savage, man. Because they can kick your ass or just show you where you're vulnerable, and then when you're done, they can say, look, dude, like, you're getting fucking hit a lot because you don't have your hand up when I'm, this is happening, yada, yada, yada. But that's the point of going with people who are better than you, and ultimately the payoff is when you go to that ring and you've been going with savages and you're sparring some average Joe who's fucking doing Thai pads and, definitely not working with the killers of, the level of you're working with, you're gonna see people hit the deck, and people gonna do the chicken dance. It's very important to work with sparring partners you trust, killers, people who can kick your ass, not too bad, but to the point where they can say, hey, dude, like, you're getting hit with this a lot, you might want to switch this up. This is how you switch it up, and then in the ring, it all pays off. And so that's the importance of it to me. It's very simple.
And then one thing that you always told me that always stuck with me was, when you spar, pick the guy you're scared of the most and just go spar him. I have yet to done that. So
it's hard, man. It's intimidating. You see someone fucking everybody up, and you're like, I'm gonna go with that guy. It's like, fuck that. For anybody who is yet to spar, like, one of those sharks in your room, it's the best way to get, to level up fast, but it's fucking intimidating. But I recommend it. Do it.
But yeah, and speaking of sparring, speaking of fight camps, but like fight camp, you guys are both very fit. I've seen you guys along in your fight camps, you guys like lifting. How important is lifting in a fight camp, would you say? Like for me, my coach at Aragon Training Academy, he doesn't really like it when I lift bodybuilding style. He'd rather see me do battle ropes. He'd rather see me do plyo workouts. But what's your thoughts overall on lifting in a fight camp?
At least for me, I'm a guy who likes to stay strong and likes to stay looking good. So word to the man, GSP, I lift weights because I want to look good naked. But at the end of the day, man, it does add a little bit of edge. If you guys are pumping iron, if you guys are, putting on some type of heavy load of weight to your workout regimen, not just body weights, not just calisthenics and stuff like that, it does give you a little bit of an edge. Not saying it directly translates to fighting, but I mean, dude, come on, you're you're going to be the stronger person. And, with muscle, it helps prevent injury as well, too. So that's basically what I'm really looking to do when I stay lifting throughout my camps, is just keep all my ligaments, my muscles, my tendons, all my muscle fibers, whether it's fast or slow twitch, just keep them activated and strong. So when I do get into a ring or I do get in a fight, I feel like you're punching Yoel Romero. I feel like you're hitting still. So obviously I like looking good. I like performing good. But I feel like it does add a little bit of an edge. And to the people who are stupid about it, who are just like lifting with no stretching, you're going to create tight bodybuilder muscles. But if you're doing it the right way, stretching, keeping up on your recoveries, it doesn't really make too big of a difference if you're lifting weights or not lifting weights is in terms of negativeness, but I believe it does add a big positive side to your physicality when you're being able to still lift through your camps. And I mean, hey, you said it yourself, I'll be looking physical as fuck, so.
And we got another strong man on my right side. I'm going to ask him the same question. What's your thoughts on lifting during a fight camp, man?
Now, during a fight camp, that's where it changes. But one thing you miss is out of fight camp. I think that both styles of lifting, both powerlifting and more functional type work during camp, I think there's a time and place for both. And I feel like when you're in between fights, you're full of calories. I feel like that's the best time to go heavy and hit those big numbers, because you have more calories. You're happy, you're in the best mood, and when you're happy, you perform well. When you're eating fucking chicken and rice with avocado, and then versus eating some like loco moco or like fried rice or some shit, like your lifts are way different, and out of camp, I feel like when you're eating like fucking 3,000 calories a day, and that's the best time to put up some serious numbers. But when you're in camp, personally, what I like to do is some barbell complex, keep it like 35-40%. I like to be pretty well versed in barbell complexes, kettlebell complexes, one really long, like 10-mile run at the end of the week, maybe like a 3-4 mile run twice during the week. And then one thing that I'm a big proponent for is the Echo bike or the assault bike. Those things are a fucking game changer. The point is to be able to think under pressure and make educated decisions, and I feel like that's where those complexes come into play, especially using that bike. If you can continuously keep it at like 530 watts for like 30-45 seconds, you're in shape. And then you're running those 8 to 10 miles once a week, and then doing 3-4 mile runs. I feel like that's the best way to train. And you can eat, you can have I don't cut a lot of weight. I cut like maybe 5-7 pounds a night before, which seems like a lot, but it's the work that I just spoke of that prepares your body to do it. You know what I mean? You're making your body work for you, So those are my thoughts on strength conditioning in and out of fight camp.
For me, I just need to stop lifting like a bodybuilder and not stretching before my fights, because I'd be walking around all tight like a Oompa Loompa. And that brings me to my next topic. I forgot what my next topic was, so I gotta check my phone like a fucking rookie. All right, so that brings me to my next topic. You guys had a lot of fights. You had a lot of fights. You had fights in headgear, shin guards. Now you're bare
bones, baby.
You too. You have fights and you were the quickest person. This guy went from the PKBs. This guy went from fighting on the mats to fighting in the ring within months to fighting in the ring without gear within months. And that all happened in like less than a year. So that's crazy, man. That is crazy. But that brings me to my next question. You guys had a lot of fights. What is your favorite memory in your fighting career?
I mean, man, since we're talking about it, receiving my first gold, baby, repping, you know what I mean? Fighters rep. I always feel like it's, one of my home promotions. They do real well at putting me out there, and they take good videos and good pictures of me, so I like that. But just the stamp that I put on my brand of a death dealer, I'm not mad at the guy. I don't hate him at all. But Mariano Corona was calling me like the fucking decision dealer and shit like that before. And I'm like, come on, dog. Like, you're obviously going to have some good fights, some bad fights. But I just had to put a stamp on and let him know, like, I am the fucking death dealer when I step in there. I'm going in there to inevitably end you. And that's what I'm going for.
I don't know why. Sorry, Mariano Corona, if you're watching this, but I got to be raw. I got to be real. I don't know how you can call this guy the decision the dealer, man. This guy has fight of the night after fight of the night. He knocked out my friend Yadir. Yadir, if you watch this, I'm sorry. I'll even play it right now.
He's a good man, though, Yadir.
No, I'll even play it right now.
Yadir, you're the man,
I want to play Yadir going to sleep.
That's the man, bro.
That's probably another good memory you have, though, right?
Yeah, obviously all my knockouts throughout my fighting career are going to be great. I think that was one of the ones, and once again, no disrespect to Yadir Perez. He's honestly a really good man and a good fighter. I think I just was just better than him that night. But obviously you guys saw it, and I still think to this day that I don't believe anybody in Fighters Rep has put on finishes like me yet, either in the fashion that I did it with Mario Corona or the flair that I did it with, Yadir. They're fucking highlight reels, and I feel like that was one of the ones that set the tone for Fighters Rep. It really let people know, oh shit, you got some fucking bangers at this promotion, and I'm one of them.
And Sergio, what is your favorite memory? I kind of have a feeling what it is.
Shit, dude, I have a few. Well, for those of you that don't know, I'm really big on in-ring conversations with my adversary, and I have a couple. My first sanctioned fight in the ring, I was fighting Michael Brown, who's fucking killing it right now in the MMA scene. So there was some weird, I don't know, we both closed distance and our headgear kind of clashed. This is back when I used to fight in the padded gear and shit. And yeah, there was like a weird little clash of our headgear. And I told him, I'm like, are you trying to fucking kiss me? And then he was like, yeah. And I was like,
you guys actually said that? You guys actually had that dialogue in your fight?
It was like a whole 1 or 2 seconds, but it was definitely something I'm not going to forget. And then there was another one with Martin Duarte. He solid ass dude. Actually got to speak to him a little bit after my fight, and he's a warrior, man. But yeah, it was like the second round, and then I'm when I see people fatiguing, I'm like a shark, dude. I'm like, that's like blood in the water for me when I see you breathing heavy. Because I put a lot of work into my cardio. When I see you breathing heavy, I'm like, oh, I fucking got you, motherfucker. And so, like, he threw a kick and was like, and I was like, and I told him, I heard Coach B, if you're watching, or, you remember this. But, yeah, he threw a kick, and then he took, like, a deep breath. And I was like, you're already fucking tired, dude? And then he, like, kind of went, and then I just, I did my Cuban Missile Crisis thing, and then, yeah, yeah.
But the knockout you had when you caught what's his face, the boogeyman's Martin Duarte's kick, right?
Yeah.
Is that knockout in one of your favorite memories, too?
I know what I can do. I know the things that I drill. The fight before that, I threw the same technique, except homeboy had his hand up, so he dodged a bullet, or should I say a Cuban missile. But it's not my favorite memory. My favorite memory was my second. It doesn't have to be a happy memory, but my second sanctioned fight, I was fighting a fucking giraffe. They always try to give me the tall people, and then yeah, I had a staph infection. It progressively got worse over the course of like a month and a half. For those of you that remember, I would take one leg kick and my leg would just fucking like go to sleep on me, and it would be extremely painful. And that whole camp, I was like, fuck, if I take a leg kick, I'm fucked. And I fought 2 fights like that. But my favorite memory was just beating the brakes off that guy, and then I didn't get TKO'd by a leg kick. I fought through a staph infection I was on antibiotics for, and I made the weight cut very hard too, not to mention. But it was just getting through that fucking ordeal, dude. That sucked. But yeah, excuse me. But yeah, just getting through that was my favorite memory, just overcoming adversity like that.
And for me, my favorite memory in my small little fighting career, I haven't even made out the PKBs yet. I'm still fighting on the mats.
Still doing it, baby. Still doing it. You're still doing it, though. That's what's up. You're still doing it. Doesn't matter where you're at.
Not a lot of people have the balls to do this. So those of you on the outside judging, making fun of people who get knocked out and people who are brave enough to get in there, if you're not doing that and you're making judgments, shut the fuck up. Stay where you're at.
No, believe it or not, I do get those people who when I post when I announced I'm having a PKB, or when I announced I'm having it's fight week, or when I just refer to a PKB as a fight. There are those people who tell me, hey, that isn't a fight, Kevin. It's a PKB. Yeah. It's for experience.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I've had PKBs that were a lot more hard, a lot harder than some fights I've had in the ring in terms of intensity. So if people are going to say, oh, that's not a fight, shut the fuck up. Especially if you've never fought. If you never fought, shut the fuck up.
And to me, sometimes PKBs can't. Nah, they can't be harder than. I was gonna say, sometimes they can be more wild than a sanctioned fight because these guys are not calm, cool, and collected. So they're just and it's just in 16. I feel like it's a real fight in 16-ounce gloves.
Yeah. Let me tell you something.
He said, "Let me tell you something."
The point of doing a PKB or a Spartacus or a hard spar is to get that experience. So if people are looking a little more green, that's the place to look at, because if you do that in the ring against somebody who's a bit more polished and seasoned, you're going to sleep probably, or you're going to end up in some serious trouble. So that's where you develop your skills, and I'm a big proponent for PKB. So if you are going to do PKBs, that's a great way to develop your skills and get yourself ready for the ring. So it's nothing wrong with a PKB.
But back to the topic of favorite fight memories for myself. My favorite fight memory in my small little PKB career was when my first PKB the whole day. Like I told you guys, I got excused from my first gym. So for my first PKB, when I decided to do that first PKB, it was in November. I got excused from my gym around late October. So I just felt like I had to fight. I didn't have a team yet, but I felt like it was the end of the year, and then it was the start of the next year. Either I had to end the year strong or start the year strong. I couldn't just sit on my ass. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this PKB. I'm just going to tell one of my friends to corner me. And for fight camp, I didn't spar. I ran like 3 miles a day, and then I just went to hit the bag for like 20 rounds, and I went out there, and it didn't go too bad. It actually went really good. I actually thought I won that fight. I actually thought I got robbed. So that's my favorite memory. And for your favorite memories is one of your knockouts. I asked you if your favorite memory was a knockout. Speaking of knockouts, I just want to know, how does it feel to knock someone out, and how does it feel to be on the receiving end of a knockout?
Well, I have yet to be knocked out yet. I did get a flash knockdown from Yadir. Dude, motherfucker got me in like first 10 seconds of our fight, bro. He lit me up like, wow. But honestly, the crazy part is I didn't really feel it. I don't really remember if it was like a fucking chin knocker or anything, because I was super coherent and aware of where I was and what was happening the whole time. So for receiving one, I don't really know yet. Knock on wood, I'm trying to be a bad motherfucker and never really get touched like that, but we're in the fight business, so if it happens, it happens. That's why my name Death Dealer is that way. I'm not only going out there to deal death, but if death is dealt to me, I mean, it's the hand that's dealt. I'm not really, out there trying to fucking fake shit or whatever. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But to give a knockout to somebody, man, that is the highlight of just, I feel like if you're a man and to take another man's fucking lights out from him, that shit is exciting. It's the closest thing to fucking.
When was the first time you knocked somebody out?
In high school, but in the rings or like at a gym and stuff like that, there was a team that was coming to our gym quite consistently at a time, and I was having rounds with this guy consistently over like the course of like 3 months, and we just kept edging each other more and more of like, I'm going to hit him a little harder, and our sparring rounds started getting into more brawls, and then finally we just had almost basically like a full-on sanctioned fight on the mats over here. But I caught him with a head kick, and he just went out, and that was like my first taste of, like I said, like, yeah, I want to fuck,
And for Sergio, for you, how does it feel to knock somebody out, and how does it feel to be on the receiving end of a knockout?
So I've put a few people out over the course of the last 12 years. When you knock somebody out, if you've ever played baseball, it's like hitting a home run. It feels like you hit nothing, and you're like, why is he on the floor? I barely hit him that hard. You hit him in that sweet spot, and the lights go out in Georgia. But for those of you that don't know, it's like the biggest metaphorical boner to knock somebody out. It's just dink, and it's like, really, you fell from that? But it's like you hit them perfectly. There's a reason. They're face down, ass up. But as far as being on the receiving end of a knockout, I've never been KO'd stiff. I've been on the receiving end of flash knockdowns. There's two types of being knocked down. There's being knocked down where it's like you got to get up in the morning and you really don't want to. It's like, fuck, I really don't want to get up. 5 more minutes in bed. And then there's getting knocked down. We're like, oh shit, what was that? That sucked. Flash knockdown, and then the other one I just explained before that. But yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
And as for me, I never knocked anybody out. I'm still in the PKBs, semi-contact. Never done it during practice either. You made me take a knee before, though. A couple knees. But, and as far as fighting, why did you do it, man? And why did you pick this path? And the first time ever you stepped into a martial arts gym, do you remember it?
Yeah, man. I think I did it because I just wanted to prove, not to everybody at that time, but to myself, that I had just that drive, that inner killer, that death dealer in me. I didn't know that I even had it in me yet, but I wanted to prove to myself that I was that guy. I was always the smaller guy. I was always the one that people probably saw as maybe not the most physical or most dangerous person. And that kind of irked me. It kind of, I guess, put like a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. So over time, gradually getting beat up by my brother who did martial arts, and then I wanted to try it out a bit. So my first time ever stepping into like a martial arts gym, I think, like on my own, I was maybe like 10 years old, bro, and I was on my way back home from like elementary school walking. I saw like a Hapkido gym, I think it was, and they were offering like a free 3 months with like your parents' signature. And so I remember I took the paper home, I forged my mom's signature, and I got like a free 3-month like course. And I was just fucking in there every day, just trying to fuck shit up. And like I said, just basically trying to prove to myself that I was a little killer. And from that day on, I started getting into watching more martial arts, and it just kind of stuck with me. But even now to this day, I think I still do it to once again prove to myself that I am who I believe myself to be, which is a bad motherfucker.
And what was the first gym you stepped into, bro? What was the name?
Dude, it was some old mom and pop Hapkido gym. Shouts out to the man. His name is James. He is one of my mom's really old friends, but his dad actually was the black belt, head black belt of that dojo, the Hapkido dojo in like Garden Grove, dude. And that was like the first. I even forget the name. It was such a long time ago, but man, it still resonates in me, and I definitely feel like those coaches and those people and what I saw in that gym really helped mold me into the kind of person I am today. Just a quick little story on that. I remember it was like my second day, and like 3 black belts were doing like a big board breaking demonstration. And I don't know if this guy was a real black belt or not, but one of them missed the fucking board completely and kicked the other black belt in the throat. And they're like, oh, and they just like dragged him off to the corner, like, okay, let's continue the rest of the seminar. And I was like, oh fuck, that's what happens in martial arts gyms? Like, damn. And now to this day, like if I go into other gyms and I see people get knocked out or clapped or bloody noses or somebody's shoulder gets dislocated at a gym, I'm like, it's fucking whatever, keep it rolling, keep it going, So it definitely helped mold my mentality in the martial arts gym really young. And like I said, till this day, I just want to keep proving to myself and other people that, like I said, I'm a bad motherfucker.
And for you, Sergio, why did you start doing martial arts, and what do you remember from your first time stepping into a martial arts gym?
Shit. Well, I was a bad kid, man. I was getting in a lot of fights. I always had that scrappy mentality, dude. I was just hanging out with the wrong crowd, dishing out those fades, running the fades, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But
I run out the fades, I dish out the fades, but that's different. I'm a barber, so hit me up if you need a haircut.
Yeah, I can attest to that. He can fucking cut hair, guys. Go to him. But back to the to my humble beginnings, if you want to call it that. I was a little shit back in the day. But I saw UFC gym used to be LA boxing. I was a little shit. I was getting in trouble, and I saw this LA boxing gym. A good friend of mine from football, Austin Murphy. Shout out to him. He's somewhere in Georgia, I think. But He was like, yeah, come by to the gym. Let's fucking fight in the ring and not get in trouble for it. And I'm like, all right, I'll see you there, motherfucker. And so the first time I ever boxed, I did a sparring class. Yes, I did not take a fundamentals class. I fucking sparred with headgear on. I did like 6 rounds, and then I didn't know how to pace myself. But I got dropped. I fucking sucked. But it was the first time I've ever been happy in my life. I've had a rough childhood. I'm not going to compare stories or anything like that. It fucking sucked, bottom line. But the point is to make it not suck. So I joined boxing. I was always like an athlete. I've played most sports except soccer. I feel like soccer's for girls, but many people may disagree with me, but I don't fucking care. But yeah, ever since 2012, October of 2012, I've been doing this, and my journey's been a little different from David. There's been a lot of breaks or inconsistency, but I felt like everything's happened at the right time as far as my sanctioned run, my championship run. It's still unfolding. It's just we've hit a little speed bump, but since 2012, man, that's how I got my start.
And as for me, I had to join the martial arts, and my first gym was Nanfan MMA. Shout out to my first coach, Nanfan. You know Nanfan?
Yeah, Nanfam's gym originally was in Garden Grove, like right across the street from my high school, Garden Grove High School. So that guy
It's still there. It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there, dude. And I remember that guy would come to Garden Grove High School, and he recruited some of my teammates from wrestling and shit like that. So I think I went to his gym for 2 weeks in high school one time for just to check it out.
Nanfan MMA Academy next to St. Lutheran's Church.
Right there, baby.
Yeah, but Nanfan was my first coach, and I came to him because I was bullied, and little did I know when I came to his gym he was gonna bully me, but to toughen me up, bullying me in a good way, and shout out to my coach Nanfan because it made me the guy I am today. But my first memory of me stepping to his gym was I walked in after school one day because I got thrown in a trash can. No, not lying. Mm-hmm. And I just told him, I was like, I'm tired of this, man. Like, I want to fight. Mm-hmm. I want to, not that I want to fight, I want to fight back. Mm-hmm. And then, just the rest is history. And then my next question for you guys is, I'll start with you, David. After your title defense against Ralph, what opponents do you have your radar on? What's next? Do you have your radar on any opponents right now?
My radar is on every featherweight that is on this upcoming card. All you can come for my head, but do it with maximum effort, because, I'm coming for you. Yeah, watch it.
And Sergio, I can't wait for your answer, man. I know you got your radar out there. I know you got your eyes on a lot of people. Maybe a few people. Maybe not a lot of people, but a few people. What's next for you, man? You got who you got your eyes on?
Okay.
He's rubbing his hands. He's hungry.
I'm cold. I'm not hungry. I'm hungry and cold, bro. It's a bad fucking combination. But I'm gonna keep it real. I'm probably not. The Jason fight will probably not get rebooked because they have Ruben Avila and Isaac De La Paz, and they were put there for a purpose. I'm gonna let that fight play out, and the winner of those two will probably fight Jason next. And that's the way. I had my chance to fight Jason, and I got injured. I'm not going to hold up the fucking division because my fight fell through. Those guys were put on the card for a reason. Isaac's been on a tear. I've seen Ruben. Funny story, we actually offered Ruben on short notice, but I had a cut on my eye from my last fight that was in the process of healing, so I couldn't step up. But if you're watching this, I was down to step in. I'm always in shape. But as far as my foreseeable future, I'm good to go by May. I can fight in May. Is that the smart thing to do? Absolutely not. I just broke my face. So I'm probably going to be in there mid to late June, July. With who, I don't know. I don't fucking care. I see the landscape of my division. I know who the big dogs are, and I want to fight all of them. I don't, I'm not a disrespectful dude. I got in this to fight the best people. I even told Jason that, and we're cut from the same cloth. We want to fight the baddest motherfuckers out there, and so whether it's for a belt or not, I want to fight. If motherfucker can hit, put me in there with him. We'll see who has the bigger gun. And they call me the Cuban Missile Crisis for a reason. But there is a particular match I have my eye on, and that's March 16th, WCK, John Fernando and Alex Ramos. So I want Alex Ramos to win. I want to get my hands on him. A lot of people are, he's highly touted. Stylistically, has the makings to be a pretty good fucking fight. So get that win, and then I'm going to get you next.
I personally want to see you and Alex Ramos fight. I personally want to see that fight wholeheartedly. I just love the way you guys fight, and yeah, it's funny. You guys don't have similar styles, but you guys throw people in the clinch. As soon as you guys clinch up, you just throw. So I like seeing that.
Let me say something about Alex Ramos. I know he has some of the most ruthless fans in San Diego. I was born in San Diego, but there's a reason I fucking left. So I'll go there. I'll go to San Diego. I'll take that belt. I'm going to go back to Orange County because who the fuck wants to be in San Diego? Like SoCal is everything above San Diego. San Diego is kind of just like some weird shit. So, yeah, I'll go there. Yeah, send me there.
And for me, is there anybody I want to fight? Maybe get matched up for a PKB? I think Isaiah.
Oh, DJ Isaiah? The DJ guy?
DJ Isaiah, yeah. No, there's no beef or nothing. It was just we got matched. He fought my friend Jack Horton before. Shout out to Jack. But we got matched, me and Isaiah, for IFS for a PKB. It was really anticipated by a few people, and then I had to pull out due to some mental health problems. But yeah, it's just I want to get that one back. And I know, Isaiah, you follow Sergio, so you're gonna see this video. So maybe we can make it happen one day.
That's right. That's right.
Let me say something about that. That's a good match to make. I think you guys both match up really well. I've never sparred with Isaiah. I've sparred with Kevin, but I really like both guys. Both are solid motherfuckers. I think you guys need to get in there and handle this. At a PKB near you. So let's get this thing going, dude.
And yeah, just a few more questions. So I ask everybody this question: when you go out there and you're fighting, everyone calls it war. It feels like you're going into war. You're putting your body on the line. A lot of things can happen when you're in there. It feels like you're putting your life on the line sometimes. God knows what could happen when you're in the ring. That's why a lot of people pray before they fight. A lot of people do their rituals before their fight. I forgot my question. Oh, why do you do this? What's your motivation for even going out there for war, man?
Once again, like I said, to just I always state this at the end of every one of my fights. I put on all the massacres and fight of the nights and knockout of the nights for the fans. Obviously, I am a showman. I want to make sure that the people that are paying for the tickets, they're getting their money's worth. They're coming to see me at the end of the night. But like I said, like at the end of every single one of my fights, I do it for myself. Like I said, it's to prove to myself that I am, the baddest motherfucker that I, think of myself to be. And so every single time I go out there, no matter the challenge, no matter the opponent, no matter the injuries or what's going to come from it, I just continuously remind myself that I'm doing this for my legacy, just to remind everybody that when they think about me in 20, 30, 40 years, like, dude, David literally was a savage. Like, no matter what, win, lose, draw, knockout, anything, it was just a fucking fire fight, just masterpiece of violence. And that's what I'm looking to do, and that's why I do it. I like to hurt people at the end of the day. I'm a nice guy, but I want to fuck shit up.
Hey, Sergio, what is your motivation for going out there for war, man?
My motivation, with me, it's a weird thought process. It's like, I know I used to be nothing, and it's like, I see what hard work can do, and when you start winning, you start seeing who the belt holders are, who the biggest fights are, whether it's for a belt or not, and for me, it's about beating all of those guys. It's about becoming the man, and like, when you come from nothing and you've been nothing, people counted you out. like to working your way up to like title contention and putting yourself in that conversation. I feel like being the man that's what gets me up. It's just I want to be the man. I want to be the guy that dude was down to fight fucking everybody. And so it's like that's basically it, dude. That's why I got into this. That's why I'm still doing it. I just want to do the man dance with all these bad motherfuckers. So that's it.
I was gonna say it's both of what we said on top of also the big booty Latinas. That's also our motivation lots of the time too.
And for me, my motivation for going out there for war, I get asked this question a lot.
Yeah.
I get asked this question a lot because both of you guys know I'm on the spectrum of schizophrenia. So then a lot of people don't agree with me going out there for fighting. They think it's not safe. They think I'm slower than others. But my motivation is to prove those motherfuckers wrong.
That's right. Put him down.
That's it. This is to prove them wrong. This is turn that I can't take away the whatever it's called, the apostrophe, take away the T and turn it to I can.
Yes, sir.
That's my motivation.
Fuck yeah.
As long as you're in there doing it, dude, nobody can tell you shit. There's a lot of people doing nothing, hating for no fucking reason, that aren't doing anything. So the fact that you're doing something and, if you feel like that's a disadvantage, you're already proving them wrong by doing difficult things, period, man. So there's nothing to hold your head low about. Just keep fucking killing it. You're already doing something that's extremely difficult. Besides being in law enforcement or the army, being a fighter is like one of the hardest things you can do. So give yourself some props for putting yourself through this lifestyle.
Thank you, man. And another one of the last few questions I have for you guys is, what's your end goal for this sport? I'm sure I believe both you guys are gonna go pro. WCK, maybe WCK, maybe kickboxing for fighters rep, maybe even MMA. What's your end goal for this sport, David?
Man, just for fight sports in general, just to keep taking the biggest and best fights and keep moving up, like you said. Depending on how the rest of this year goes and at the top of 2025, I might want to start to make that pro debut. Fighters rep, George, the main man over there, he's always saying, hey, we can build you up. And then, when you make that pro debut, I'd love to have you, make your pro debut on there. So I feel like the kickboxing is going well. I'd love to, step into the pro leagues of kickboxing and Muay Thai and MMA. I mean, dude, what's funny is there's already like 2 or 3 pro fighters that are already looking at me and scoping me out and basically saying like, yo, I want to fight that guy. And at the end of the day, I think it's funny because if you're a pro and you're already looking at me as like a fucking an obstacle, that's great for me because now I know who I got to move up to go beat. I know these motherfuckers' names that want me. So to become pro, and dude, if I can get a fucking big name contract from anywhere, UFC, fucking Bellator, the one championship right now, that's like the biggest thing out there, bro. Like inevitably, if I could make it happen and it was the perfect goal and I could make it happen, it is to get signed by one championship because they got it all. You can do the submission, you grappling stuff. You can do the pure Muay Thai in big gloves. You can do the Muay Thai in the small gloves. You can do the MMA in the cage or the MMA in the ring. They have all these routes. And at the end of the day, like I said, I just want to fuck everybody up in every fight style. So if it could be one, I would fight grapplers, MMA guys, Muay Thai guys, kickboxers. Like, I want to beat everybody up and show them that I am truly the best 125 to 127 pounder in the fucking world.
And for you, Sergio, I believe you're going to go pro as well. I got full belief. What's your end goal for this sport, man?
My end goal, it's just respect. It's just I want people to know that I was always in there willing to mix it up with the biggest and best competition. Mainly just respect. I just want people to be like, that Sergio dude, balls of steel. He was always in there willing to throw down and, give it everything he had. And as far as like my long-term goals, I want to go if it's a challenge, I want to do it. I like doing difficult shit. Anybody who knows anything about me knows I put myself through the fucking gauntlet. Like, I make sure that I'm hardened, I'm, whether it's for life or, for physical, purposes. I just like to make sure that I can withstand difficult, hard situations. And if a step up in competition to professional is that, fucking sign me up, But like, to be more specific, I have a grappling prowess, if I can train my jiu-jitsu, train my judo, wrestling, and all of that for, like 6 months. I can take an MMA fight. People would laugh and say that's crazy. It's like I used to wrestle in high school. I did judo growing up. People who know anything about being raised by a Cuban know that judo is on the curriculum. You got to do it. And wrestling, I just did it 'cause it was fucking hard. It's embrace the grind, right? So that's what I did.
Definitely so.
But definitely MMA. That's one of my objectives, is to get there. Obviously get a belt, but just beat the who's who. I want someone I really look up to is Donald Cerrone, and Rafael dos Anjos. Ironically, both of them fought each other, but both of them also fought everybody else. And by everybody else, it's I don't have time to name everybody, but you guys have seen them fight. I really I want to be put in that category of just BMF, But that's it.
And for me, my end goal, eventually I just want to fight a sanctioned one. It can be without shin guards, it could be with shin guards, but eventually I want to grow out this, the 16-ounce gloves and just do one sanction before.
Yeah.
I want to tell my kids I did one sanction.
Dude, I'm sure after you do your first one, you're gonna be addicted.
I had quite a few PKBs. Granted, I didn't do it right. I always did my PKBs short camps or just wing it. This guy knows I'd be winging my PKBs. He tells me off all the time.
But you train like an animal, dude. If you're training like an animal all the time, you're in a gym environment, you're going to get that itch. You're going to be like, fuck, what am I doing just being in the gym with no purpose? So that's why you take these fights. So I don't blame you. But getting into the ring, like I said, I've had harder PKBs and I've had fights in the ring. If you want to call it that, I guess there's less room for error in the ring, but just know that the competition you're going to be facing in the ring is going to be more polished, seasoned, and if they're not, then perfect. If you're ready for that, you're going to probably fuck them up. So,
to be honest, my coach told me I might have an easier time for my first sanction against someone who may be doing their debut than me fighting in PKBs, because PKBs, everyone shows up off weight. Mm-hmm. If you sign up for 120, they're coming in at 128, 129.
Yeah.
It's a class.
Yeah.
Is that when you sign up for 120 is really a class in a division of 120s.
Yeah. Who's the closest to you?
Yeah. So I never fought anybody my weight. Mm-hmm. I never fought anybody my weight so far. They're at least 7 pounds bigger.
Mm-hmm. Man. Even in wrestling, it's hard to find people that weight. So I didn't wrestle that weight, but I know for a fact the people that did, they would get a lot of buys. But in order to mitigate a lack of opponents, they do pulled weight classes. So like you said, 120 to 130. That's how you get the competitions. Is you're gonna have to fight at a disadvantage, and by disadvantage, fighting a bigger man, cutting down, is one of them. But it's sanctioned. You got to be on point. You miss weight, you're gonna get a reputation for the wrong reason. Mm-hmm. So. But if you're on your shit, you're eating right, you're doing your road work, and just making good decisions, in camp, you're gonna be fine.
And he's right. He's right about being on point on your runs, being on point in your camps. Because I've actually been to gyms where they sign up their students for PKBs, and they tell their students, you know what, it's just a PKB. Just run every other day. Run maybe every 2 days. It's just for experience. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
Once again, snake oil salesman. Are we going back to that again?
What's your thoughts on that, Sergio?
I think by doing that, you're creating a minimalist mindset in a sport that requires everything you have to win. So by saying, "Oh, you don't have to make weight. Fuck it, skip running."
It's just for experience.
Yeah.
It's fuck that. It's always about the W. You go in there, you smack that guy around, and eventually you'll get to the cage. But as far as skipping a day, if you're beaten down and you cannot get out of bed, you have fucking lower back pain, or worse yet, you have a small injury, take a rest day. If you just cannot fucking do it, that's a big reason why I got injured, honestly. But if you're putting in the work and you're fucking, you're beating the shit from doing all the right things, a day off will not hurt you. So if you feel guilty about taking a day off, maybe you didn't put in the work. But just that minimalist mindset of you can miss a day, fuck that. It's always about the W. Go in there and smack your opponent around, and level up. A coach who is encouraging you to do the least, I don't know about that. I don't subscribe.
Yeah. To add back onto what I was saying, like snake oil salesman or whatever. For some of you who do know that I am not only a fighter, but I am also a head coach of my gym as well here too, Buena Park Martial Arts Academy. Shouts out to them. Yeah. This is coming from me as a coach standpoint of view, and I guess pulling from Deadpool vibes. Maximum effort, guys. Anything worth doing is worth doing 100%. Like, don't go in there half-ass mentality, half-ass anything, because at the end of the day, if you do half-ass shit in training, you're going to get your shit worked in a fight. So at the end of the day, simple as it could be said, is anything worth doing is worth doing with maximum fucking effort.
And I know it's just a PKB, it's semi-contact. If you knock somebody out, you get DQ'd, you get disqualified. But in the great words of my old coach, Coach B, Joshua Fochman, in a PKB, a DQ is a TKO.
Yeah, true. Hey, true. They might not like it.
We all know who the winner is. Let's be
What else did my old coach, Coach B, say? He can have the trophy. He can have the trophy when he wakes up.
Yeah.
That's such a Coach B thing to say.
Yeah, man. But guys, I'm looking at the clock. It's been more than 30, 40 minutes, so it's been great having you guys talk with me.
Thank you, man.
Sergio, don't leave me hanging. It's been great
I was
talking
looking
to
at
you.
the time, man. It's been
So guys, David, Fighters Rep 22, defending his belt. Sergio, we don't know what's next, but just know it's coming. It's coming.
It's coming all over the place.
It's coming all over the place, all over your face. And for me, I don't know either, all right? But I just know I will do another podcast soon, so I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, guys. That was good.